Hi, my name is Moiz Bookwala and I run the board game company and Jigsaw Nation along with my two brothers Aziz and Murtaza. We started in the year 2018. What inspired us to start was every time, so my brother moved to Dubai in the year 2012, and every time he would come, he would bring a game along with him. Um, every time we wanted to play a new game, we had to wait for him to come back from Dubai, and that's when we realized there was a gap in the market. The games weren't available here directly, and we had to wait a really long time. So we thought, why not just sell them here directly? And that's what inspired us to start the board game company. While we started with importing games in the year 2018, we realized that the price point of these imported games was extremely high for the general population here, and we needed to bring the price point lower. So the only way to go about this was to manufacture our own games here. In the year 2020, we started manufacturing our own games. The first game being Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. This did really well. We moved on to a few other games like Exploding Kittens, Yogi, Trophies, and these are all currently available in the market. The games that we sell here are carefully curated from a list of games that we know sell in the millions of copies internationally, and we license them for the Indian market. The games like Exploding Kittens and Yogi, for example, have sold in the tens of millions in the US and Europe. Since we'd been manufacturing board games for a while, and Jigsaw Puzzles was coming out as a new vertical in our business, we thought, why not let's manufacture Jigsaw Puzzles also here in the factory that we make our board games in. So we invested money into a machine that can cut these jigsaw puzzles. We started working with artists from across India and started bringing their art to a more global audience. If you looked at jigsaw puzzles that represented India, the maximum you would be able to see was the Taj Mahal or maybe the Qutub Minar, but nothing ahead of that. What we wanted to do was display actual Indian art on a global scale. The first artist that we started working with is an artist called Mario Miranda. He's renowned across the world for displaying different countries' cultures in his art form. The reason we wanted to work with him or with his estate was because he had artwork in so many different from so many different cultures. It was easy for people to recognize their culture in his work. And since he is an artist based out of Goa, he's a very local icon. We also work with ISRO, where we've taken historic projects that ISRO has done for India, like the geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle, and we've gotten it made into a jigsaw puzzle for children and adults to enjoy likewise. We also worked with Tinkle in the year 2023 to make some of their historic cover pages, their Tinkle comic cover pages, into jigsaw puzzles. So we did two 150-piece puzzles and a 500-piece puzzle with them. As pioneers of manufacturing jigsaw puzzles and board games in India, we not only take the big jobs of maybe 1,000, 2,000 units, but we can also do really small jobs of say 100, 150 units also. What this allows us to do is beat China on manufacturing these in terms of pricing, quality and quantity for the smaller players, and also saves on the manufacturing costs and the import duties of doing these smaller jobs in China. With technology being so deeply penetrated into our everyday lives, where people are on their phones and on their gadgets constantly, we wanted a way for families or friends to enjoy a conversation over the table, over a board game or a jigsaw puzzle, and just spend some quality time together. One of the games that we grew up playing is called Dadu. It's a traditional Dawoodi Bora game that is found in, I think, every Bora household, and is normally sown by one of the house elders and is played with cowries and with small pawns. And the game can accommodate the whole family or even two people playing against each other. And it's an extremely fun game that can involve from the youngsters in the house to even the elders. And this incidentally was also linked with an academic paper by one of the universities in Netherlands. A researcher walked into our store one day randomly, and they were telling us about the research that they were doing of traditional Indian games. In the conversation, I also brought up that we have this game called Dadu, and I showed him the traditional game that we have that my grandmother had made for us, and he was really impressed by it. And he said that I've never seen something like this. I've traveled all across the country and I've never seen anything like this with these kind of mechanics. So Turns out he wrote an entire academic paper on the game, and the academic paper shows links of how the game mechanics in Dadu are linked to game mechanics that are found in Yemen, which is where the Dawoodi Bohras have emigrated from and have migrated to India from. And also some traditional Indian games that have the same Indian mechanics. So there is a very distinctive combination that you wouldn't find in any game that comes from India or from Yemen. This is definitely a mix of cultures that is visible in the game. As an e-commerce business, we're faced with a constant challenge of returns. Returns is a problem that we have to deal with if you're working with players like Amazon or Flipkart. Customers sometimes can return empty boxes back to you, or they could return fake content in the box and replace your original content with it. This and the cost is all borne by us, and there is no choice here. Amazon can sometimes give you a refund for those items, but it's very rare that they do. The next challenge is finding distributors across the country. Finding a distributor is essential to our business because we have to be in stores across the country, the north, the south. But also the distributors need to understand what our product is. Any distributor couldn't take our product and sell it to their stores. They need to understand, they need to play the games themselves, they need to do the jigsaw puzzles themselves and understand the premise of what we're trying to sell. Another very big facet of distribution is being in the big retail chains, like the Hamleys or the Crosswords or whatever is applicable to your category. So if you're in FMCG, then you have to be in the D-Marts or in the Reliances of your category. Getting into these chains is extremely tough, but once you're in them, it ensures that you have a monthly flow of sales from those players. At the board game company, we're happy to help you make your board game or your jigsaw puzzle into something that you can see as a final product, something like this that looks like a box, has proper packaging, has all the details on the box and all the contents as per what you would imagine your game has. Or if you just want to get a gift for a loved one, a frame that's converted into a jigsaw puzzle, we're happy to make it for you.